Yeah. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, based on the time you have, local time. First of all, let me congratulate the SDG Institute and Amna's Institute for getting us all together to speak on Belt and Road Initiative and also speak about the relevance and importance of Pakistan in this larger context of Belt and Road. But since this marathon is about SDG, I mean, it's so pleasing to see that you, in terms of women empowerment, you have two women hosts and two women speakers. So this largely speaks on the about the global strength that the world is gathering in terms of this. But with this short preliminary remarks, I would just like to quote Charles Dickens here, in terms of these tales of two cities where we live in best of times and we live in worst of time. We live in times of darkness, we live in times of light, and so on. This, perhaps, ladies and gentlemen, for Asia's unprecedented times, despite uh, so much being spoken about globalization and in terms of pandemic, I'm a proponent of globalization, and I think this global phenomena, has taken more people out of poverty than any other initiative taken by human mankind. So in that,
Hassan Saab, can you speak little bit louder? We can't hear. Sometimes we hear clearly, sometimes we don't hear clearly.
okay, I'll get the computer closer to me. So now,
Yeah,
should I start?
now we can hear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
brilliant. So,
yeah.
as I said, in terms of Charles Dickens, I said this is the best of time and the worst of time, and I believe that for Asia, this is the best of time, despite the fact that globalization and this other tremendous challenge we're talking about pandemic and how is it affecting the global economy. But I think in terms of regional integration, in terms of taking more people out of poverty, talking about healthcare system and socio-economic development, I think at large um, Asia is benefiting more, and despite the fact that the global economy is slowing down, and we hear depressing things, but by and large, Asia has done well. Asia did well in 2010 also, and is doing well during the pandemic. I know some of you might argue that our growth is 2.1%, but uh, but largely this is going to get better, and when things settle, I think the concept of regional integration and globalization would again re-emerge as the champion of the overall socio-economic development of mankind. With this proviso, I would also like to state it that I was lucky enough to attend the two Belt and Road forums held in 2017 and also in 2019, and I was able to speak a bit about how Pakistan will play its role in terms of regional integration, and also along with my minister planning, that is, in terms of regional integration and how pivotal it is for Pakistan to play that role. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure our worthy speaker that would follow me would speak about how things should be and how things are, but I would speak about how they were actually placed in terms of planning and in terms of its initial implementation till the early harvest project, and later how would it go till 2030. And I would also speak why we speak about 2030. And I was speaking in a seminar earlier also, and I will, even at the cost of repetition, would say it here again, that in less than 30 years, Pakistan is going to be 100 years old, and our population would double. And this is a great challenge for any planner. This is a great challenge for any government. And for us, we need instruments which can provide the kind of integration with regional trade ecosystem and connecting us to the global supply chain, starting with perhaps China and then getting to all the way. So in that respect, I think Belt and Road Initiative is one of the biggest initiative connecting Asia with Europe and all that comes in between. For Pakistan, from starting from our Sust port at Kashgar all the way to Gwadar, it is not just providing our regional connectivity with China, but internally also it is providing connectivity with less developed regions of Pakistan. Now you see Balochistan being connected to Sindh through Kuzdar Basima Road. You see Balochistan going all the way up through starting from Gwadar and connecting to the Chinese border at Gilgit-Baltistan. We also see less developed areas being connected and creating that rural-urban synergy, which is extremely required. And this also brings me to the point, perhaps, on Chinese philosophy of, in order to become rich, you must build roads and infrastructure, that is. And in that respect, in 2013, when we were working with Chinese experts, we realized that our scarcity of energy and poor infrastructure were key bottlenecks towards our economic growth. And then again, if you look at the development that has happened within BRI thus far, you would see that both China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and Belt and Road Initiative have similar ages. In 2013, during his visit to Azerbaijan and Indonesia, President Xi Jinping spoke about his vision about the Belt and Road Initiative. And similar times, we were engaging with Premier Li Keqiang in terms of having CPEC, and he was speaking about the community of shared glory, perhaps. And in that respect, we understood that we need to work on development of Pakistan, both incrementally, and what more would we want than connecting ourselves to the second largest economy of the world and connecting to its supply chain. And then in 2015, when President Xi Jinping spoke about his vision and details of that vision about BRI, in 2015, we were able to work on our monographic study in terms of the volume of traffic that would shape up by 2030 and how CPEC largely would connect with Belt and Road Initiative. Actually, we had Afghanistan and then Central Asian Republic in our mind in terms of regional connectivity. But we clearly understood that Pakistan lies at the center of three engines of growth. We have China on our east, we have Central oil-rich or energy-rich Central Asian republics on our west, and then we have India and smaller nations, in terms of economy, I must say, like Sri Lanka and others, and connecting themselves to the Belt and Road Initiative. So the debate during the first forum was largely about One Belt, One Road, which lately translated into Belt and Road Initiative for obvious reasons. But it was more about connectivity and infrastructure, because discussion there was about dearth of infrastructure largely, and Pakistan in terms of per capita, per capita development cost is far behind in terms of government spending on infrastructure, vis-a-vis perhaps China and some of the other developing countries in the region. And also in the second Belt and Road Forum, the discussion was largely about benefiting and leveraging each other's benefits and endowments in terms of connectivity. And then you saw Italy coming in, and a lot of media attention was given to that forum. But I remember President Xi's statement in that day was about good weather and how would that connect us in terms of Belt and Road Initiative. But coming back to my last two discussion point is that for Pakistan, it gives us tremendous opportunity to develop our agriculture, develop our trade and business practices. It also gives us a lot of support, and which China has demonstrated in terms of addressing the locust problem, just lately, and also to address initially in March or post 23rd of March, in order to address pandemic issues, and Chinese support flew in from Beijing and rest of China, Nanjing also. And that is what actually the spirit of Belt and Road Initiative is about: connecting ourselves, humanity getting closer. You see, this is not just about economy and trade; it is also about culture. It is also about people to people interaction. And when this people to people interaction will take place across the entire route, you would see diversity. And this is the beauty of Belt and Road Initiative, that it brings out diversity amongst nation and bring that diversity to the advantage of each one of us. And in terms of its technical aspirations and in terms of its implementation, I think speakers later would speak about it. But I think this is based on the fact, and these are certain assumptions I make when I write or speak about Belt and Road Initiative, and I think that China would remain the factory of the world till at least 2050. After that, perhaps I will not be on this planet, so I don't really care. But till 2050, perhaps China would be the factory of the world. And despite the fact that you hear various voices coming out from India and rest of the world in terms of their ability to take over from China as the engine of growth, but this won't happen. Because the gap is large, and in order to bridge that gap, a lot of effort has to be taken in terms of improving that infrastructure, and even in terms of efficiency. I think nations would get closer because of this Belt and Road Initiative. Those countries and nations which are opposing Belt and Road Initiative, when they look, and this is when I talk of regional countries and those countries which are lower as middle and lower income nations, when they see projects like CPEC doing well and bringing socio-economic development and growth in our country, in our respective countries, I think they would be attracted to be part of this. I think from Chinese perspective of Deng Xiaoping, of Bao Kuang Yong Hui, which was lying low, become the second largest economy of the world and progressing well to become the first. I think there are a lot of reasons and a lot of points that we can emulate in terms of growing faster, because this is unprecedented. So many people coming out of poverty in so little time is unprecedented. And I think countries like Pakistan can learn, and this is in terms of SDGs also. You know, SDGs, as opposed to the Millennium Development Goals, are doing well only because of China. Only because so many people are out of poverty and so much trade activity is happening because of it. But I think with this, having said what I've said earlier, I think each of us in our respective countries need to also look at our natural endowments and leverage that in best of our national interests. And by and large, we are happy to be part of the Belt and Road Initiative. We will remain engaged with China in terms of building our capacity to do better trade, improve our capacity to run special economic zones, and also industrialize Pakistan. Here in Pakistan, we realize that we cannot become rich only become by agriculture alone. We need industrial development, and I think it's important for us to become rich. Besides other aspect of human growth, it's extremely important for us to become rich, and the mean that I see now is, despite our internal development, is regional integration, and the platform that we can use to best of our national interests is Belt and Road Initiative. So with this, if anyone would have a question later, I would answer.